Our next story, The Lost Jewels by Rabindranath Tagore, is a cute classical story about a guy who asks his wife to lend over her jewelry to take up loans from the market for sunking business. This is a very sweet, mystical story which satirizes the women's love and fondness for her jewelry. Let's see what is there in the summary. The narrator returns to his home. Bhushan Lal, after coming back, living in Ranchi, comes back to Calcutta after a long time, and he returns back to his dilapidated owned house in Bengal. Now eventually what happens is, on his way back, he meets a person and he asks, being the narrator, he asks that person, "Who are you? Can you please help me out?" Eventually the person who remains to be in talking terms with the narrator is the schoolmaster. Schoolmaster is a really talkative person, and he tries to explain, of course, his life stories, and he starts explaining him the stories of the dilapidated house. Narrator's conversation with the schoolmaster. Narrator has a close-cut conversation with the schoolmaster. As soon as he reaches the ghats of the village, he asks the schoolmaster if he could help him out and who was he. The schoolmaster, being again, as I told you, a very talkative guy, gets into a direct conversation with him and starts talking to him about his own life, about the life of the guy who used to live in the dilapidated house. Schoolmaster tells a tale. Pointing towards the dilapidated house in the village, the schoolmaster tells him a tale of a man named Bhushan Saha, who had a huge building and a cute little mansion. Though it was looking dilapidated at the moment, in those days it was a very beautiful mansion. He had owned up a business of his own uncle Durga Saha, and his property was owned by Durga Saha. He has his wife Mani living with her in the mansion. Mani's fondness for jewelry. All of a sudden, Bhushan Saha started feeling that his business is getting sunk down. To raise up money for his sunken business, he asked Mani to help him out with his jewelry so that he could pawn the jewelry for money in the market. Bhushan's wife disappeared. Eventually, when Mani, because she had so much fondness with her jewelry and she loved her jewelry to an extent that she had no child, and over the years she had curated that jewelry for her as savings, she didn't want to let it go just because of the fondness and her willingness to help her husband. Then, all of a sudden, Bhushan Saha's wife disappears with her cousin Modu to her father's place. Bhushan Saha eventually does not seem to pay much attention to this, but later on he sends messenger to her father's place, and he gets to know that Mani and Modu did not ever turn up to their place. The schoolmaster remains puzzled. As I told you, this is a mysterious story and it leads to a lot of mystery and twists and turns in the plot. We will understand this with the brief explanation of the summary.